So we'll start off with just the basics. This is going to be a 4-week program that will lead right into orientation. So you will be joining the rest of the students at orientation, doing a typical move-in. But the idea would be that you're going to spend the entire month of August with us. We're hoping to have approximately 30 students in the program. This first year, we wanted to keep it relatively small. We thought 25 to 30 was a nice cohort, but was enough people that you weren't with the same person every single part of every part of the day. And during that time, you'll be taking 2 F&M courses with faculty. These courses will apply towards graduation. They count towards your requirements. It's essentially a jump start. And Caitlin's going to talk to you about those 2 courses here in a little bit. You're also going to spend your day sort of in a typical day as a college student. So in addition to those 2 courses, we also want to expose you to some of those things on campus and those resources. And we've got a couple of them listed here. Introduce everyone to the Writing Center, our career services, academic advising, and a lot of other things. It's important to know there's no direct cost to the student. So by participating, your room and board and the tuition for these 2 courses will be covered at no cost. So it really is, the only thing that would be involved is paying for your transportation to get to Lancaster in order to be able to participate starting August 1st. And the other thing is you're going to make some friends early too. I think building that community early gives you that nice sort of, on that first day of class, maybe running into somebody or a couple people that you might already even know. And the idea with that is community, right? That's the basis of this program, is to build community.
So the academic component is that each student will take 2 courses during the program, which will result in 1.5 credits toward graduation, as Jimmy had mentioned. So these will go directly into sort of your degree works at F&M. The first course, which will be half credit, is a writing intensive course that all of the students will take. So there'll be 2 sessions, which will make sense when we go over the weekly schedule, but there'll be 2 sessions that the students are divided in half to take the half credit of the writing intense course taught by one of our creative writing professors. And then a student will take a STEM course or a humanities course. For students who have already filled out the interest form, we asked you that question: do you intend to pursue STEM at Franklin and Marshall? So for those students who indicated yes, will automatically be enrolled in the STEM course. And those students who have indicated no will be enrolled in the other course. We wanted to give students, STEM at F&M is different, right? You're going to a liberal arts institution, doing a STEM major, having that hands-on research experience. We will make sure that you are prepared for that for when you start classes in the fall. So that's why you will have that STEM course to prepare you, taught by one of our chem professors. And then the humanities course for all other students will be a take on the Connections course curriculum, which is like your first year seminar. So it is humanities based, but you're going to take, there's going to be aspects of the course that may focus on psychology, anthropology, sociology, history, art. So it's really all encompassing to make sure that it caters to all students, no matter what the title of the course is, which we'll get into. And as I said before, students who successfully pass these courses, they will receive a 1.5 credit. The writing intense course will be pass, no pass, since it is a half credit. And then that STEM and humanities course will be letter grade, just as sort of the logistical technical aspect. And then getting into a sneak peek, a little bit into the courses, which I know students are probably wondering, like, what are these classes they're going to make me take? So here are course descriptions. On the left side is the STEM course, which will be Chem 111 on nanotechnology and renewable energy with Professor Kate Plass, if you want to look her up. And then on the right side is the humanities course, which would be the Life and Times of Fairy Tales, which will be taught by Professor Jennifer Redman. So here are just little course descriptions of sort of the basis of what these courses are. As I stated, the Chem 111 course has a Chem foundation, but what Professor Ploss is going to do is she's going to teach you what it means to be a STEM student in college and a STEM student at F&M by working through research, a research project. So you'll write a research paper, you'll have lab as a part of this course, and you'll be learning about nanotechnology and renewable energy. As you all can tell, I'm not a natural science person, but this description depicts it very well in terms of what you will be learning. And then the humanities class, the life and times of fairy tales, literally about fairy tales, like old German folk fairy tales from back in like the 1700s, all the way up to Disney, where you're going to have a Disney component and learning about Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and things of that nature. But she's going to walk you through, or Professor Redmond will walk you through sort of the old folk tales. And then at the end, your sort of research final project will be, you are going to create your own fairy tale and present that to the class. But learning about the history of why these fairy tales are important. Where I was like, you might see me in your class sitting in on those sessions to learn about fairy tales because I'm obsessed with Disney. So that's just a little sneak peek of the classes being offered. Now, the social and campus life and well-being, right? We want to make sure that you all are safe and you're being well taken care of. So I will have 3 upper class students from F&M. So juniors, seniors, maybe a sophomore will serve as student workers, and they'll be your HAs. So they'll be your house advisors. They'll be living with us in the residential hall. I will also be living in the residential hall. And so we're all living together in Dietz Hall at F&M. We're eating together in the dining hall. So all of your meals will be included in terms of 3 meals Monday through Friday, and then 2 meals on Sunday and Saturday. When we go into the schedule, you'll see why that is in terms of flexibility. And then the bonds you will form within this will add as an additional support for the program. So you all will be in a cohort for the month of August. And this cohort will not formally continue during your time at F&M, but it does provide a solid foundation of friends that I think and I hope would last a lifetime during your time at F&M after spending 4 intense weeks together. And having, current F&M students being there as mentors and peer advisors to help and support you as you transition on to being in a dorm, living with someone, being in a new environment, and taking the F&M curriculum, we hope provide a solid foundation. And then I'm also there as sort of an administrative role to serve as another additional support. I also didn't share, I'm sure some of you know this, that I am an F&M alum. So I do understand and realize how tough for some people this transition can be, and want to make sure that is as smooth as possible and also having a fun experience. I definitely want to reiterate that we are going to have a lot of fun during this program, which leads into the next point and that Jimmy will talk about.
Thanks, Caitlin. And I just want to remark before I get into the fun, because you're right, that's one of the hallmarks. We want to make sure that students are having fun in this program too, is that the faculty that are going to be teaching these courses, all F&M faculty, are just, some unbelievably talented, wonderful teachers. But the faculty that will be teaching these courses, I know directly, and I'm just really excited for the students because I know how strong they are and what great mentors and teachers that they will be in these courses. So I just wanted to put in a little plug for how exceptional they are. The enrichment sessions is a big piece of this. And this was one of the things that I've been pretty passionate about when we created the program. And it was that I wanted to make sure that students, as we created the program, have the opportunity to learn about what's available at F&M, so that there's this ability to say, oh, I know this, I can do this on campus, or this is where I go to do that. You also, in many ways, serve as leaders among your own student cohort, right? As the first year students arrive, you're going to know a lot of things that others will not have picked up on yet, and others will come to rely on you. And that's where that leadership piece, I think, can really can sort of blossom. But it won't be just the instructions, workshops, and things that are listed here, but we also want to be able to do some weekend excursions to let you see what's available to you in the community here in Lancaster, but also close by in maybe a trip to Philadelphia or a trip to DC or somewhere close. So you have the opportunity to access some of the major metropolitan areas around you where potentially you could potentially intern in a future year or do some research for that matter. You can see here is a list of some of the different sessions that we're thinking about, but it really runs the entire gamut of what we have available. So we want to make sure that you realize what sort of health and counseling services that we have, how do we in our career services and how we're able to give you the attention that you need to help decide what you want to do, whether it's graduate school after you complete your undergraduate experience or that move into that work life professional world as well. We also want to be able to do some sessions with you about sort of your strengths, your weaknesses, things that might be a challenge for you. So we have professionals all over campus that will be sitting down with you to do some of those things to help you understand more about yourself so that you're really prepared as you go into the fall semester and beyond to be able to tackle what might come before you. We really want to also introduce you to service, a big part of what we do in our community as diplomats. And as President Altman always says, the world needs more diplomats. And by becoming a diplomat, one of the things that we want to do is we want to have a day of community service. So we'll do a project with you all in Lancaster that will give you an opportunity to see your new home, but also contribute to it and give back to it. And potentially find opportunities that could also give you future chances to get involved with the community as well. These introductions are meant to be meaningful. And so it won't just be a half hour with somebody who works in this office. These are meant to be sort of a deep dive. And you'll see that when we look in the schedules, we want you to get to know the staff that are there. I mean, I think of Beth Roan and Osbagad, which is our career services, that postgraduate development. Beth and staff, Sonia, are going to get in there and they are going to really work with you to the point where when you see them on campus, they're going to know you and you're going to know them. And those are great contacts. That's what we were trying to do, is really set you up for the best success that you can have. We're also going to do some team building activities. I promise these won't just be, I'm not the biggest icebreaker fan in the world, but these are meant to be things where we're actually going to get you involved and get you out there and doing things that are going to get you to tear down some barriers, maybe to learn more about each other, especially early on once you first get here. And then one of the things that I asked Caitlin to include is I want the group, and we want the group as a whole, to sort of celebrate the completion of the program. So we're going to give everyone a budget, sort of work as your own activities board, and we're going to allow you the opportunity to create something to celebrate your completion of the month that you can work on throughout the month as well, which we think could be a nice way to end the program, but also kick off your official start at F&M. So lots more to come on those things. That's a lot of the things that you see on this list are the things that Caitlin is hard at work on and working with staff till we get that planned so that when you arrive in August, we're ready to hit the ground running. We're going to walk through this mock weekly schedule with you next, and Caitlin's going to actually pull a sample calendar up that is mostly full with real activities already for you. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to mimic what college will look like for a student at F&M, what you're going to experience once the semester starts going. There's going to be free time. Students have to manage their schedules. There's going to be those enrichment programming, but we're also going to make sure that you have that time in there so that you have time to study, you have time to do a few things on your own as well, but that's going to help you understand how to build those schedules and what it's like. Sundays are going to try to be the free day. This is the day for you to explore campus, be out in the city, do some things that you need to take care of on your own, run your errands, do what you need to on Sundays. Saturdays, however, are really meant to be those trips that we have on those excursions that we're working on for you. And then the plan is at the end that you'll move in, you'll find out about move-in and about halfway through the program. And we'll be able to work with you to figure out how we're going to schedule that last week of programming and move into your room for the fall semester. And Caitlin already is working very closely with our housing and residence life staff. And with the house system, you all will spread out amongst our community. And that's where I'm really excited is we've got some key folks that are going to go into each of these houses that will have such a wonderful experience to kind of help the other students once you get the semester started. Caitlin, do you want to pull up that schedule next and maybe dive in?
Yes, sounds good. Okay, so this is the first week of the program, what it looks like. And there's a lot of gray here, but understanding that, you know, as you can see, like on Monday, we have the 2 writing courses. You're only going to be in one of those. And then with these that overlap, you're only going to be in either the humanities course or the STEM course. Okay, just so you can see your class. So let's start with move-in. Everyone will move in on Sunday, August 1st between 8 and 2 p.m. Move all your stuff in. We'll be there greeting you. We'll have bins to help you, you know, drag your stuff in. If you're someone who is an overpacker like I am, and you're bringing all your stuff for the semester, we'll have places for you to store your stuff for the fall semester and then just have your stuff that you need for emerging scholars. So you don't have to make the double trip if parents don't want to have to come back at the end of the program on move-in day on the 28th to drop off more stuff. That will all happen in the morning. We'll have a wonderful welcome reception where Jimmy will be there. We'll have other guest speakers there to greet you all and have a formal welcome with some snacks. Families will have an hour to say goodbye to their student. And then we will have our first sort of cohort meeting where you will meet your house advisors. We'll do some preliminary meet and greets before we go to dinner. And then we'll have fun icebreakers for the evening. As you all can see, dinner is always at 6 o'clock. Our eating schedule is not something that I had sort of autonomy over. I had to go with what the dining hall provided. So I am sorry in advance to the students, but we have breakfast every morning at 7:30. You can ask Jimmy. I originally had breakfast at 9 because I wanted to be, you know, gracious to the time.
Caitlin, can I just add though,
Yes.
you know, that 7:30 doesn't mean everybody needs to be there at 7:30.
Correct.
I would be that person at about 8:20, grabbing my, you know, apple and an orange juice or something like that, my cup of
Yes.
coffee. So
yes, just know that we are eating between 7:30 and 8:30 every morning. People in writing course cohort A will have class at 9. For those of you who don't have that first cohort, that's like your free time. If you're someone who likes to go to the gym, want to get that gym workout in, or maybe you went and grabbed breakfast and you want to go back and shower, or you might have homework you need to finish up. So that's, you know, what the other cohort is doing. Then cohort B will have their writing course. You all have a break in midday, grab some lunch at 12:15. We eat lunch at 12:15 and it goes until 1. So anytime within that time frame, that is our eating time. Everyone will be in class at 1 o'clock. 1 to 2:30 is your humanities or STEM course. On the first Monday, we will be doing a campus tour. Just ignore that. But on the first day, we will have a campus tour of campus for you to walk around and get a formal tour if you haven't had the opportunity to do that. Then enrichment program is every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday from 4 to 5:30. So that will be some sort of group on campus or component that we're working with to do an immersive, engaging activity to learn more about things on campus. Dinner at 6. Every night, you will have a cohort check-in at 7. So the program will have about 25 to 30 students. And we have 3 HAs. So each HA will be responsible for, you know, 7 to 10 students. So you will meet in your little pod every night at 7 p.m. to do a quick check-in, see how things are going. Some of those may be larger group activities if there's something that we need to discuss as a group. And then I just have blocked off 8 until 11 as homework, but of course that's your free time. That's just mentally for me to know that that is your time to be doing homework. You know, HAs will be on duty. I'll be around, you know, if anybody has any questions, if people need anything for class, that is your homework time. And then we repeat that again the next day. Wednesdays look a bit different. So on Wednesdays, you have breakfast at 7:30. Every Wednesday from 10:30 to 12, we will have a session with OSPAGOD, which is the Office of Student and Postgraduate Development. This will be professional development in a 4-week series where you're working with Beth Throne, the director, and her colleagues on some form of professional development that will help as you navigate this college process. So she is very excited. This sounds like an amazing workshop. She piloted this year with the first year class, and she's going to shift it to make it very ESSA specific. So that will be professional development every Wednesday morning. So again, little later time. If you're someone who may not want breakfast, feel free to not go to breakfast and sleep in. But just know that breakfast is at 7:30 on Wednesday. You don't have anything until 10:30. Lunch will be right after the OSPAGOD session at 12:15. For those of you in the STEM course, you will have lab on Wednesdays from 1 to 4:30. For those of you not in the STEM course, Professor Redmond will be doing office hours writing sessions with you all. So those will be on a time schedule with her that she will work with you on Monday and Tuesday to figure out what your time slot is for that Wednesday. I just didn't know how to note that on my calendar, but that's what's happening with the other students while the lab is going on. That is a real time frame for lab, so it'll give you a great feel for what lab would feel like when you're at F&M. Then there's no enrichment programming since we did professional development in the morning, so you have this break until dinner time, and the same thing in the evening. Fridays will look a bit different in the evening because I wanted to give you all that time off free to do whatever you wanted to do. And then there is a fun activity every Friday night that your HAs will coordinate. So that will be very student-centered, student-focused. And that will happen every Friday night. And then on Saturday, which I need to just move you all a little bit so I can see, Saturday, I have brunch happening at 9. That may be like a bagel or a muffin. That will just be in the common space in the dorm. And then we have an excursion throughout the day. We will be back on campus for dinner and then cohort check-ins. So that's sort of what a week will look like. This is what your first week will look like of the program. Good. I'm sure people like screenshot that as I was talking. So if you haven't, feel free to screenshot the schedule. Oh, and now we're on to questions. So let me stop my screen share. Let me pause the recording.